You're listening to Sit, Talk, and Listen podcast with your hosts, Payroll Rob and Xavi Bauer.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Sit, Talk, and Listen, episode 34. Today is March 24th, 2025. Xavi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm, little down on my dopper today over the weekend events. But, we're going to battle through, and here we are, episode 34, Walter Payton.
Episode 34. Walter Payton. Another good 34s? Give me another one.
Other good 34.
It's a tough number.
34, Bo Jackson.
Dang, look at that knowledge. Nice. Good call.
Bo Jackson, Walter Payton.
Those are pretty solid. Running backs.
Yeah.
Big running back number at a time, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it's
kind of one of those numbers that's faded away into
Paul
obscurity.
Pierce sucks.
Sucks.
Shaquille O'Neal, obviously, Lakers, 34.
Obviously.
Manny Legacy, maybe?
Manny Legacy. Know the name. I couldn't have told you if he was 34 or not.
Blues goalie.
Yeah, but I don't remember his number. Was he 34?
We're going to pull it up right now.
Tony, producer, get on it. Producer Tony. While he's looking that up, we can talk about today, since it's March 24th. We got Manny Legacy. There it is. Good job, producer. It was cool. So 34. Shouts out to Manny Legacy. He's going to get the...
That was deep in there.
Pulling that out like a plunger. All right. So national days today. We'll just give you a few of them, Xavi. We got today, obviously, March 24th. It's Flatmates Day. Same as like a roommate. They call flatmates other places because, it's sometimes a flat. So shouts out to all your roommates, I guess. Day of Remembrance and Truth and Justice. Day of Remembrance for Truth and Justice. Learn the history of this day and how to contribute to honoring victims' memories.
Of what?
For Truth and Justice.
9/11?
Nope. Just Day of Remembrance for Truth and Justice.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the number one day of we need the truce of 9/11. We can backpedal out of this real quick, but beep, 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 beep. I don't think we were prepared.
I don't know what Day of Remembrance for Truth and Justice. I just read what's on the script, brother.
I just want to know what that entails.
I guess it's to remember truth and justice. You got me, dude. I guess it's not the same as Memorial Day because it's probably you're remembering all those good court cases, the ones that the Roe v. Wades of the world, I guess.
Truth and justice.
Well, what goes more hand in hand, truth and justice, is like court systems.
Well, I feel like Roe v. Wade would just be a weird thing because it's not like they're not really fighting for truth or justice. Like Roe v. Wade is for abortion.
Yeah, but it was like a court case, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That, is remembered. So, I don't know. Day of Remembrance for Truth
Simpson.
and Justice.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, we're going to remember him for truth and justice. Same as Flatmates Day. It's also Independent Accommodation Day. So for all you homeowners out there, today's your day. And along those same lines, it's International Day for Achievers. So go out and get it. Let's see.
Achievers?
International Day for Achievers, yes.
If you're a piece of shit, this is not your day.
It's to the ones selflessly striving to make our world a better place. We celebrate you.
I don't feel like a lot of people are selflessly striving to do anything.
So we don't have a lot of achievers out there, is that what you're saying?
If that's the definition.
You have to be selflessly striving?
Well, that's what you said.
That's what it says, yeah. To the ones selflessly striving to make our world a better place. That's nobody.
No, who is selflessly striving?
A lot of people want you to believe they are.
No.
With their online lives.
Every single person is selfishly motivated. whether or not you're cognizant of that and strive to maybe do the less selfish acts sometimes, but you know what I mean? But who we deem in society as achievers usually have a lot of selfish, and I'm not saying it's a wrong thing,
Yeah.
but come on.
Yeah, I mean, you could look out for your own interests while also looking out for the interests of a group at whole,
I just want to take a veer off real quick.
Skirt!
It just reminds me of this Friends episode, which I think has it's made me think philosophical, even though that was such a kind of slapstick sitcom.
Yeah, it's a silly little show.
But there's a whole episode where Phoebe says that nobody does anything selflessly, and I think it was Joey who was like, "That's not true."
Mm-hmm.
So he went and did this kind act that didn't benefit him in any way, and then Phoebe was like, "Well, did it make you feel good?" And he's like, "He was like, yes." And she's like, "Well, then you still got something out of it."
True. Yeah.
And I was like, "Damn, that's a pretty deep thought." And I've thought a lot about that.
Yeah.
Do you really ever do anything that even if you're doing a good deed that doesn't necessarily directly benefit you, it still makes you feel good, so it's still benefiting you.
Right. No, and there's a lot of truth to that because, some people think I'm an asshole. Other people tell me I'm really nice and I do all sorts of nice things. But usually if I'm doing something nice, it's because it's also going to benefit me. Let's be honest. I'm going to be honest.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I will do nice things that, if it doesn't, if it doesn't hinder me, if it's not gonna make me behind or go out of my way or cost me money to be able to be helpful, then I'll be helpful. Sure, it doesn't always have to be I don't have to get something out of it, but if I have to take a step back, or if I'm gonna get knocked down by helping somebody, then I'm a lot less likely to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's also times where I'll do something for somebody even if I don't want to do it because I feel bad if I don't do it, but then I'm doing it because I will feel bad if I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? We're all kind of driven by this.
Yeah. But I think it's good because a little bit of shame goes a long way in making people act good to each other, I think.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out, and that definition just made me think of that.
Yeah, so shouts out to all the achievers out there.
I just stepped on that whole day.
Yeah, it's okay. There's a lot of March 24th, there's a lot of days today. National Cocktail Day, so get yourself a nice little cocktail. What's your favorite cocktail, Xavi?
Moscow Mule.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
I like a good Moscow Mule, ginger beer, vodka,
yeah, I do like a good ginger beer.
Bitters. Mm-hmm. That is what that drink consists of.
Jamie and I went to Zia's on the Hill. Shouts out, restaurant. They're going to be sponsoring us before you know it. We went there Saturday night, and we had some dinner. So we got a few cocktails. She got the Moscow Mule. Delicious. I got a French martini. It was pretty good. And that was Grey Goose vodka, Chambord, and pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Delicious.
French 75.
What's French 75?
Well, they basically that's.
Is that what that is?
That's what we call it on our brunch menu.
And it's just vodka.
But we use grapefruit juice, not pineapple juice.
Oh, that's a different drink then.
Yeah, French 75.
French 75. It's got Chambord in it too?
Yeah.
What do you think of Chambord? A liqueur?
Not a big. I think a lot of times, with mimosas and stuff, it's just so heavy sugar based, it's just hangover heaven.
But mimosas are just orange juice and champagne. There's no liqueur in it.
Yeah, but it goes in that same vein, is what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, champagne's got a lot of sugar in it.
Well, yeah, so does a lot of wines and stuff too. Same kind of deal. I like me some amaretto. That's a solid liqueur.
Yeah, I do love amaretto sours, but it was just I was realizing that the sugar intake from that.
But if you just get amaretto on its own, that shit's still good. And, and it's still got some sugars and stuff and regular amaretto. But
the older I get, the more cognizant I am of the sugar intake when I'm drinking alcohol because it's just hangover hell.
Big time.
Agreed. The vodka sodas is kind of,
I'll do amaretto on the rocks sometimes. That's a really solid choice. Or amaretto with a splash of Dr. Pepper if you really want to get crazy.
I mean, it is fire.
It's
That is
so
an
good.
elite drink.
Woo! Feeling good. That's a good one. That's a good one. I used to, one of my first cocktails of choice, remember what it was?
Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew.
That's it. A Misty Mountain, as some people would call them. So simple Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew. Get you feeling good.
Did you think I was going to nail that?
I was pretty confident that you'd know it. You know,
I can't remember where we were. I remember us being at a hotel for some reason, you and I, and you had brought Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew, but I can't think of the occasion and why we were in a hotel together. You remember this?
I'm thinking.
What could
now.
we have possibly been doing? But I remember vividly you had brought Canadian Mist and 1 liter of Mountain Dew.
And 1 liter of Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Interesting. I don't know, because I feel like by the time I even moved to Indiana, I wasn't even really doing the Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew very much at that point. But
We went somewhere, bro.
what did we do? Did we do anything before I moved out to Indiana with you guys? Like, did we? No,
I'm trying to
can't
think
of anything.
I know when I just did that little brain exercise to remember the drink you were saying there, like
Sure.
that's where my brain took me, was like this night that we
Yeah.
went to a hotel. Just you and I, we got drunk.
You and I will make.
But we had to be. Like, did we go to any out of town weddings together?
Not before. Like I
Yeah.
lived in Indiana.
Where the fuck could we have been?
Was it when we went to Colorado with Matt? That'd have been way later.
No, and it wasn't a hotel.
It wasn't a hotel either.
Maybe
I don't know, dude.
maybe there's like I don't know, dude.
Missed memories here.
Well, obviously I remembered it.
Well, sure, but I don't. I'm trying to think of when we were at a hotel together. Too much Canadian Mist and Mountain Dew, brother. So anyway, shouts out to National Cocktail Day. Let us know your favorite cocktails. It's also, I'm just going to blast through a few of these food ones real quick. National Chocolate Covered Raisins Day. National Cheesesteak Day.
Cheesesteak?
National Cheesesteak Day. That's right.
Trash.
What don't you like about a good cheesesteak? Is it just because it's out of Philly? He shook his head yes for those that aren't watching on the invisible YouTube feed.
Trash. Well, YouTube feed by June. Breaking
YouTube
news.
feed by June.
Breaking
news.
news.
You heard it here first.
Breaking news. If I put it out there, then I feel like it's, they say if you're going to set a goal to something, you got to verbalize it.
Yeah,
Right?
that's fair. Yeah, we're not too far away. We just got to tie up a few loose ends, and then we'll be bringing you guys our beautiful mugs on these episodes. International Day for the Right to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations.
This is a different one?
This is a different one.
What's up with all this truth bullshit?
Today's the day for truth and justice, I guess, because this one is super long.
Go ahead.
International Day for the Right to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations and for the Dignity of Victims.
I mean, I like that better than the last one.
Put that on a pin and put it on your
It's
T-shirt.
like the T-shirt, the Michael Scott.
The
National Rabies.
fun run for the cure.
Didn't I give you that kind of vibes?
Yes, big time. They should shorten that.
Well, I could definitely get behind that, and without getting into too detail, like there's specific things that come to mind that I had no awareness that was happening, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, so I think it's like the day of remembrance of truth and justice, and that like right to the truth concerning gross human rights violations and dignity for victims are kind of tied in together.
Well, yeah, okay, well,
We've been a little bit lucky and shielded in the United States from some of the
I was going to
major
say, like, the
gross human rights violations.
the female circumcisions that are happening, like in Africa, where they're like, and they just like, basically just
bad
mute.
stuff.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to get into too much detail, but that is
Right.
definitely what comes to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, if people in the United States think that they got it bad, just look up some real human rights violations across the world, and you'll be blown away.
That is something I can stand behind. I mean, God, everybody just complains. Yeah, this sucks here. This sucks. And-
The WNBA should be paid like the NBA.
God, dude, Angel Reese she's the worst.
the worst.
I used to kind of go to bat for her.
You did. You wanted a defender. You said people are shitting on her. Let me try to.
Your league finally gets a little momentum.
Mm-hmm.
A league that's not profited one time, and you want to hold out until you get paid like NBA players. Well, let me tell you, there's checks, there's balances. Yeah, it has to make sense for the advertisers. Like the NBA, it all goes down to advertising dollars because of views, because of revenue, because of the just overall product that they're putting out there. Right. And that took years to build. The WNBA first gets its little bit of taste of popularity and pop culture relevance, and you want to hold out. Like, that's going to kill your league, you fucking buffoon.
No, I agree. Yeah, you can't. Like, I understand that you're like, oh, we have to strike while the iron's hot, I guess. But if you push too much, you're gonna push away all the momentum that the league has garnered over the last couple of years. So, do you really want to do that? No, you don't want to do that. So, yeah. Thanks,
yeah,
Angel
it sucks
Reese.
for them that they are kind of paving the way for the future athletes, but like
somebody has to.
Yeah, it's like if you're, Michael Jordan, he got his money on the back end. Like, obviously, you think Michael doesn't look at this current state and see these players' contracts and realizes like he was getting paid in his prime, like some of the eighth men off the bench are getting paid, but
and even so much less, fucking Dennis Rodman or somebody else like that. Like, they're the ones who really didn't get paid like what their true worth was.
Or the decade before. Look at Magic and Larry Bird. Let's see what their contracts were.
Big time.
But like, again, both of them are doing just fine because they still they paved the way and they made their money.
They took the opportunity that was given to them and they made the most of it. They didn't sit there and ask for more and more until they just become irrelevant. So that's kind of what Angel Reese is on the path of doing here. So
I just don't know who her advisors are, but she should fire them.
Fire Ash. 2 more national days.
Okay.
I told you there's a shit ton of days for today.
Yeah, it's been good fodder.
National Each Person is a Person of Worth Day. As we just got done talking down Angel Reese.
Well, I'm not saying she's not a person of worth.
No, I know. I'm just joking.
But, I feel like that doesn't need to be said to people like us that,
Each person is a Person of Worth Day.
Yeah, we are. We're all worth something to a billionaire. We are worth
our labor.
Yeah, or our us buying products for that and being continuously.
Well, we couldn't buy products if we weren't part of the labor force, and we have to be part of the labor force to maintain our lifestyles that we've been told we have to live.
Like,
a house, 2 cars, fucking children.
But we are not
insurance
people to them.
Like, no, we're just numbers. Big time. Last but not least, National Stephanie Day. Woo! So give all your Stephanies a shout out. Today is a terrific day to commemorate them.
Any Stephanies you have in mind?
Isn't Lady Gaga's real name Stephanie something?
I don't know, Iggy.
Damn.
But
Tony,
Stephanie
Tony
McMahon.
Oh, that's a good one. Stephanie
yeah, I just watched a documentary on Stephanie McMahon last night.
What'd you find out?
She's just she's kind of a boss, dude. Like,
sure.
Well, obviously, literally a boss now, but being
when did the doc come out?
Well, it was a series. It's a series called Evil. It's on Peacock, and it basically just shows like the villainous side of individual WWE superstars. But we're not going to get to that segment yet. But this is Stephanie Day, so Stephanie McMahon. A lot of people thought that Shane was next in line, the only son of Vince.
Well, he was the more visual one in the beginning.
But Stephanie really
stepped up into the business aspect of things.
Has a lot of confidence in herself, and that really propelled her. Obviously, getting in with Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, and marrying him. But and whoever this Stephanie, where he says that rap song, you call her Stephanie, I call her Hefferny or Head for Me or whatever they say. That's Stephanie. I can't really think of any other Stephanie.
So yeah, Lady Gaga's real name, Stephanie Joanne Angela
Jesus
Germanata. Something like that. So Stephanie, Lady Gaga, shouts out. I feel like there was another big famous Stephanie that I'm missing out on here. It's okay. So anyway, National Stephanie Day. Shouts out to all those Stephanies out there. So also today, two birthdays of note. We'll shout out Peyton Manning, his birthday. Also, Undertaker's birthday.
Yes.
So
Well, I like
the
the slow
Undertaker.
pivot that we are taking in the direction.
Into this world of world of sports and wrestling.
Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment.
So why we're thinking of the
Mark
Undertaker
Calloway.
and his birthday. That's Undertaker's name? Mark Calloway? That sounds like a stage name. Like, that didn't even sound like a real name, you know?
That's his name.
I mean, yeah, I'm here for it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a legit name.
He's
Mark
destined for
Calloway.
greatness.
True.
And also, he was also, it's funny because he was also one of the people in that same series last night.
Yeah, he definitely was of the era of the McMahon kids coming up, so I'm sure he had a lot of insight to give. And he's a smart dude.
He had an individual episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I watched like 5 of them, and 2 of them were just named. Stephanie and The Undertaker both had individual.
So that's why you know his name of Mark.
No, I've known that for a while.
Would you say Mark Conway?
Calloway.
Calloway, like the golf club. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeesh. Yes, I think identical spelling to that.
Is he related?
Yeah, that was his dad.
Brilliant.
That's made up. But Peyton Manning.
Well, yeah, Peyton Manning's birthday, that's fine. Whatever. I figured we'd talk about the Undertaker's birthday, and then that could lead us into Xavi telling me about this week's happenings in the wrestling world.
Well, boy, oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Monday night was a promo for the ages as the ever-anticipated John Cena was in Brussels,
Famous heel turn recently.
Belgium, and
they got the good chocolate.
They knew their role.
The crowd?
The crowd was just amazing, and when he comes out, the crowd's yelling, "Let's go, Cena! Cena sucks!" And I'd say
dang.
that 70% of the crowd was saying Cena sucks. 30% was still really loud with their "Let's go, Cenas," and he came out, and just the first 5 minutes, he couldn't even get a word out because the crowd was just
Heeman and Han, Miss Med.
they're screaming, they're yelling at him, and then John Cena starts and just reminds you why he did get to the points that he was, because he's so good on the mic.
Yeah.
And he goes on to lament into all the Cena sucks people, but then turned it and said, and let me tell you why the Let's Go Cena people are just as bad.
Ooh.
And he said, it's, no matter what I do, this is all I've ever heard, which is kind of true. It's this Let's Go Cena sucks thing has been going before he went heel. And he's like, I'm not changing my music for you. Because, that was the whole thing. Is he going to change his music? Is he going to change his outfits now that he's bad and he's wearing the same stuff? He said, this is for me. He said, this is not you. And just lays into him, points to these individual kids in the crowd wearing Cena stuff.
What the fuck did I do?
He's like, you're the problem. You're the problem. He said, I live hustle, loyalty, and respect. He said, you guys just can't throw on a shirt and claim that's your life. Which, dude, there's a lot of truth into what he was saying, which makes it such a good promo.
Sure.
And he's going on, and basically he gets to a point where he says, this is me. He said, I'm officially breaking up with you.
Oh.
And it's you. It's not me. Basically, you are the problem.
He said, I'm sick of these
kids are crying
bands.
in the crowd, and then you hear Cody Rhodes' music come on. Crowd just fucking ape shit again. Dude, I'm telling you, this crowd, I was telling Brady, if Bob was watching wrestling right now, you would try to fight it, and you would be like, this is awesome. And I'm telling everybody listening.
I'd say it's really cool for everybody to react in such a way, even though they know that it's scripted.
Well, there's a lot of realness to it.
Sure, they're good actors. They got great scripts written, good lines.
You react to a Rush song that they wrote and then performed, and maybe even had multiple takes at it. This is all live off the cuff, baby. They didn't get a chance. If there's a flub, they don't get a chance to redo it, like the music that you love and cherish so much.
The recorded
2112
music
probably took so many different takes, and I'm gonna stand here now and say most things that you've enjoyed have been prepared and have been.
I'm okay with things being prepared, but if it's being sold to me like it's not decided, that's different.
Well,
but continue.
There's a lot of truth to what John Cena was saying.
Probably, I agree. with the whole
because he
the fan
does.
stuff.
You have spent 18 years of your life where you're on the road for 300 days, and you're constantly working out. And then when you get into the ring, you're putting your body on the line. He tore his pec, came back 4 months later to win the Royal Rumble. That was real. He really did tear his pec.
Yeah,
that wasn't fake. That wasn't part of the script. And he comes out and he puts his body on the line for all these people, and they boo him. They want more. They want more. And that's what he says in this promo. He said, all you guys ever say is, what's in it for me? What's in it for me?
They want their entertainment.
And that's you. You're a what's in it for me guy, Bob. And that's why John Cena.
I'm not in it at all. I don't want to know what's in it.
He's breaking up with if you don't watch. If you
There's
watch,
nothing in it for me.
He needs you to know he doesn't fuck with you anymore. He doesn't. He lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yeah.
But Cody Rhodes comes out and the crowd's going fucking wild. They're singing his song.
I just need somebody to ask him. Said, John Cena, are you back in wrestling because you missed it, or are you back in wrestling because you had a huge failure in broadcasting?
No, he's John Cena.
Yeah,
he's contractually obligated, but he is actually doing pretty successful in his Hollywood stint.
He's not The Rock.
I think that he might not ever be to The Rock, but I think he's gonna have a better post-wrestling career than Hulk Hogan, who came crawling back to Eric Bischoff and WCW.
A little side note about The Rock and his acting days. I tell you, we watched a god-awful Rock movie while we were at the cabin over the weekend.
Red Christmas?
No, it was like an older one that came out in like 2002 or 3. It was called something Universe, son of a bitch. It was not good, but it was so classic, like a WWE movie or whatever, where they have all the other wrestlers in it and they're doing all the wrestling moves, and it's like a 13-year-old storyline.
Well, I don't know.
Not good.
But Cody Rhodes comes out.
Cody Rhodes.
Crowds going nuts. And if you, and I know you hate wrestling and everything it stands for, and do not understand, you hate joy and you hate anything that brings people joy. But
if that's the role I have to take, then sure.
It brought so many people joy.
I believe that to be true.
And they're going nuts, and Cody comes out there and he says, John, I looked up to you, and I was really looking forward to wrestling John Cena at WrestleMania. He said, but this isn't John Cena.
This isn't John Cena.
And he basically just gets into John, and it's like, I don't know what's happened to you and all this stuff. And he said, well, I hope that I wrestle John Cena at WrestleMania and not whoever this little whiny bitch is. Ooh. And everybody's like, 30-minute promo. John doesn't say anything at that. It was a mic drop moment. Cody Rhodes drops the mic, walks down. Everybody sings his song again. Then John Cena walks out with his head hung low. And, this is just as riveting as it gets. This is the greatest storytelling as it gets.
The audience is captivated.
They're live performing. I cannot, I'm almost struggling to understand what you don't get in the appeal of it.
I get that it's entertainment, but it's just not entertaining for me.
People have been performing on a live stage for hundreds of years as art.
Okay.
And this is a continuous storyline that goes,
That's what it is to me. It's entertainment, but I don't. And there's like an athletic element to it.
Extremely.
It's not my entertainment. That's all. It's not.
I'd say
as
some of the
entertaining
best
to me.
athletes in the world.
That's fine too. It's just not my. It's not for me.
So going on from
But
there,
I enjoy you letting me know what's going on. I'm intrigued to see what happens with little John Cena, but I just look. I hardly have time to stop and watch football games or basketball games or anything else these days. So I don't have. I just don't want to dedicate the time to watching any wrestling. But I like that you can fill me in on it in 5 minutes. That's great. I'm interested in that.
And there's a lot of other stuff happening this week as we're ramping up and preparing for WrestleMania, which is only 3.5 weeks away. It's a 2-night.
Yep, it's crazy
event.
The quickness that this month has gone by.
Yeah,
I kind of knew this month was going to fly by for me. We had the old wedding last Saturday. Saturday the 15th was the wedding, and then Jay and I were out of town or a little country abode for a week up to then, so we're just now getting back at the podcast. But this month has flown by. I'm looking at the date. Yeah, So that sucks. But that just means we're closer to the Masters and WrestleMania. Which are you more excited for? I think I know the choice.
Come on, dude. This is like, when I tell you I'm all in, and I hope that I'm conveying my passion and excitement through these airwaves, how good it is right now. This thing that I've loved a lot of my life has re-entered it, and I feel very happy about that. It's been very exciting for me to, you know, get back into it. And there's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of other build-up, obviously. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, they had their whole big showdown this SmackDown, but, you know, I don't want to spend too much time talking about anything else because, like, the main thing right now is
the John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
Yes, and that's that. They probably won't have like another promo like that magnitude next week, so I'll get more into the other rivalries and stuff as we go on. So I just really want to harp on this. But
I'm still producer Tony is over here trying to figure out what movie from The Rock we just watched. It's crazy. I'm looking at all these lists that are supposed to list. This movie must have been so bad that they decided to not even list it on his, like...
Well, you said from early 2002, 2003? Like, he did...
like, he did The Mummies.
He did Gridiron Gang, Scorpion King.
Yeah, the Gridiron
Walking Tall.
Was in 2006. So this was like...
Walking Tall?
This was a movie where it was like he was... he had to go and retrieve some dude's kid, and he was like... some sort of... retrievalist, basically.
Retrievalist?
Essentially. So the first scene of the movie is like he's going into this club and he's got to like try to get this football player to pay off a bet that he had made for 50 grand or something with this bookie. And the football player's like, "Oh, fuck you, man, get out of here." And he's like, "Well, give me the ring then." And he's like, "No, I won't." So then The Rock kicks all these dudes' asses to steal this dude's Super Bowl ring to like take it back for collateral. And then it's like he's got his book, you know, he's like, "I want out of this life," and the guy who he's working for is like, "All right, one last job," right?
I feel like you're describing Walking Tall.
Walking Tall.
Did he carry a big stick around with him? 2x4?
And there was like the blonde dude that was in the movies, like a famous goofy kind of guy. What's his name? Sean something maybe.
Sean's Sean Stifler?
Yes. What's that movie that Stifler's in? Jesus. I'm going to spend all this time trying to remember this movie that sucked, and people are going to be like, well, I got to see it.
The Rundown.
The Rundown. That sounds right.
It's not a bad movie.
2003? Is that the one? Yeah, that's the movie. Dude, it was awful. We watched that one of the days we were at the cabin. Not a good movie. Sorry for anybody who thinks it is. It's not. Christopher Walken.
Sean William Scott.
Yep, that's the guy. Christopher Walken was in it. It just wasn't a good movie. It was written for teenagers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you're speaking so matter-of-factly.
That it wasn't a good movie.
6.7 on IMDb.
Okay. I thought it sucked.
You thought it sucked.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
You said it just was not a good movie.
It wasn't. For me, in my opinion.
I have to watch it again.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Rock's movies, but I do think like the earlier Rock movies, and again, I was
2003, so this one came out somewhere between the Mummies.
I was younger back then.
Yeah. So, it definitely
10,
felt
11,
like
12.
I probably would have watched it in 2003 through like 2010 and be like, "Oh, that was a cool movie." But watching it now as a 33-year-old adult, I said, "This is kind of dumb. This is really dumb." But, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. I'm not an angry old man.
Yeah, you often are like this.
I am.
Angry man that yells at clouds.
I am. I told you I was angry when we went to the Hill on the weekend for all the rich whites coming down there and making the waits super long at the restaurants. Oh, it's good for business? Oh, I have to wait to eat.
Yeah, but why do you hate joy?
Why do I hate joy? Well, that's a loaded question. I just hate joy that it feels like when people like things that are dumb. Because it just perpetuates the idiocracy of the world.
Yeah, but how is wrestling dumb?
Because because people buy into these things like it's real life, and then they act like that in real life. Like they talk to their enemies like, I will take you down, whatever. I don't know. They just buy it as real, and that's not cool, in my opinion. Like being able to distinguish between what's real and what's not real.
But in that but in a microcosm of the real world, that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's putting on a facade. Everybody's putting on their best face.
Maybe that's why everything just annoys me. It kind of
prepares you,
because
really.
everybody is just a
if
faker.
Anything, it prepares you for the real world.
I guess.
Like you have a problem with wrestling, but you don't have a problem with somebody going to a job interview and, acting.
You don't think I have a problem with that?
Well, yeah.
I always have a problem with people being disingenuous.
Yes. But I feel like there's, I don't know, man. We're going to have to dive deeper into this because
into my hatred of joy.
Well, specifically like wrestling and what you deem is so stupid. And, maybe I am a dumb guy, but I
don't think you have to be dumb to be a fan of it. I think there are a lot of dumb people who are fans of things, but I don't think you have to be dumb to be a fan of that. I like trash TV. I love me some Kitchen Nightmares. It's trash TV, garbage reality TV.
But wrestling is not trash TV.
It's not. It's not.
Put up your counter. but I've laid out so many. That's why I just want you to argue against what is trash about it. It's one of the most choreographed, synchronized things. It's very people are really putting a lot on their bodies to do it. A lot of times it's story building and added performing in front of a live crowd and audience. You don't have to like it, but to say
false drama. It's the fake drama. It's the built-up drama that, and then, like I said, people believe is real, and then you see it in everyday life. People that go out and have to create drama every day, otherwise they don't feel like they did anything. It's like, is that necessary? No, but that's how they're conditioned because of the stuff that they consume. All this manufactured drama.
Isn't How I Met Your Mother manufactured drama?
Yes. It's also kind of dumb.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But
at the crux of it, you're basically shitting on anything that gives anybody entertainment. Because everything that's created for entertainment is manufactured drama. Like this podcast we do. Like that. The only reason I'm so confused is because you like the performative stuff. Even on the day of your wedding, you said this is a show. Like we're putting on a show today.
Yeah.
And that's big wrestling vibes.
Yeah. It's just not wrestling vibes that I want. I'm not a wrestling fan. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'm not. I think that you would be, is what I'm saying. I think that you're speaking on something that you don't really. You have a preconceived notion, which you also hate when people do. And you're taking shots.
I've seen enough wrestling to know that I don't want to spend my time watching it.
You haven't.
What do you mean?
You didn't even watch during the Attitude Era.
I've seen enough. I know that I don't want to settle in and watch it. It's not for me.
And I wouldn't even be getting this mad if it wasn't the shots that you take along the way with this tonality that you're so above it.
That's not the tonality at all that I'm trying to
You said I don't get why people like trash TV.
I didn't say that.
Or
I said you
have a problem
TV.
when people like dumb people watching things.
I didn't have a problem with that either.
That's what you said earlier.
I don't think so. That's not how I said it.
We can play it back. You said something along those lines.
No. I said, I didn't say that, but it's dumb people TV. And there's a lot of TV that's for dumbs and movies. Yeah, it's a lot of what we've made for entertainment is for the dumbs. And that's just, I don't know.
But the world is dumb.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you just pick and choose and say, well, this is for the dumbs because I don't like it, but this other thing is not for the dumbs.
That's not like I'm saying that because I don't like it, it's for the dumbs.
Like at the crux of it all, human beings are all wired so similarly. It is just how you convey yourself. At the elite status, they're just human beings that can be easily manipulated. They want their egos are involved, and they want their peers to respect them and like them, and they're putting on a facade and an act. And this boils down whether it's entertainment, whether it's business, whatever it may be.
Yes.
Platonic relationships, romantic relationships. This is all, it's a little bit of your real self combined with an act that you're putting on. You're trying to present your best self, and then and around certain people you're going to act certain ways, and that's all this world is. And the WWE is kind of one of the most best representations of real life. Art imitates life, and
and
so I'm just trying to I feel like I'm going to bat here, and I'm coming in with a bulletproof vest and all kinds of guns loaded, and I will. Not, and it's not just WWE. Like I'm just trying to take a step back and in a wide lens camera, and we're talking about dumbs. And it's like, if we're taking a shot at dumbs, that's everybody in the world. Everybody is basically wired the same, and we go through different life experiences and act different ways. But everything is a fucking act. Everything is a goddamn facade that we're putting on.
Yes. Sure.
I got that off my chest.
Yeah. Essentially, all the world could be a stage, and we are merely players.
Yes.
Performers and portrayers.
Even these rich whites that you speak of, and then they carry themselves around.
Yeah,
like
they act the most of anybody.
Yes.
Sure. I mean, yeah,
and they're
I don't
dumb.
disagree.
You can fool them.
They're dumb too. 100%. Some of them are much more dumb than the poors.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with your socioeconomic state if you're smart or dumb. It's your ability to distinguish between what's real and what's not. And I think a lot of people either know things aren't real but still choose to act on them like they are real. I don't know.
I think there's a lot of blurred lines. In a lot of things, there's blurred lines.
I mean,
you're speaking on things as they're black and white, and I think
okay. I think that's. I don't ever try to speak on things like they're black and white.
But now you are, so that's why I'm just trying to point out that you are.
In what way?
Wrestling.
That I said that it's dumb.
You said it's scripted. It's fake.
It is. It's not fake necessarily.
But there's a lot of realness that goes into these.
Yes,
scripts.
I've
It's
said
the blurred
that.
lines.
There's a lot of athleticism that goes
No,
into
but
it.
I'm talking about even John Cena's anger in this promo that you're saying is scripted. It comes from the heart. I think that's the beauty of. That's like what I've been trying to convey. The beauty of a lot of these wrestling beefs and all this stuff is like there's a lot of truths that come out in these promos that they cut.
Sure. I mean, I get that. Like, you get to talking. I don't know. I guess it's like when they do all this talking and then it's like, oh, it's time for him to fight. And then you see him fight and it's like the guy stomps on his chest and you see him holding back, but the guy's like, whoa, whoa, and like, fucking flailing all over the place like he just had the heaviest foot in the world land on him. Like all that kind of isn't for me. The pageantry of the faking of the fights isn't fun. I don't enjoy it. I think that it's kind of, because I'm like, come on here. Like this isn't the real fight. Like, obviously, again, I know that they're doing physical moves and there's a chance for them to injure each other, but they're not really bashing a guy across the head as hard as they can a bunch of times. And the guy doesn't really need to flail around on the ground for 3 minutes.
So if you watch a movie and someone gets shot in the head and you see that actor actually did not die in that movie, are you thinking that movie does that piss you off?
No, because I know the movie is portraying itself as fake as a movie, so.
But they want it to feel real in the moment.
Yeah, I guess. Is what
comment and subscribe who's winning this.
Winning what? I'm just telling you why wrestling isn't for me, and I don't understand why it's why I have to like it.
Well, and I wouldn't have to go to bat like this if it wasn't for if you could hear your tonality and the way that you're coming at it, and like how the way you're speaking about it, what gets me riled up.
You're coming at me all wrong here.
Yeah, the way you speak about it is like. You guys are dumb for watching this and believing in it's real and then portraying and then taking that in real life and thinking that that's real. You guys are dumb.
No.
That is basically.
No, you're taking it like that, but that's not what I'm saying. So, it sounds like there's some other issues there.
Well, I don't know.
I'm saying that there are a lot of dumb wrestling fans. Not all fans of wrestling are dumb.
Yes.
And there's a lot of dumb fans of a lot of things.
Yes.
But not all fans are dumb. It's not what I'm saying. Obviously, I understand there's an art form to it, but it's still not for me. It doesn't mean that other people don't appreciate it for that. But there's a lot of people that buy hook, line, and sinker into it.
If you approach it that way from the beginning, though, then I'd be like, okay, it's not for you. But like you take direct shots, so then I had to peel back and then point out the fact that you could say that about anything in life.
I just wanted to make a quick little comment about the scripted.
Not on my watch.
Woo! Going.
Not on my watch.
Woo, woo, woo. Not in here, bitch.
Yeah, no. Dude.
I just want a little jokety joke.
If we want to talk shit on anything, it's Mizzou basketball, and I have time for that. But
Tigers letting us down.
Suck.
Yeah, I think it's probably time we can move along from the wrestling. I know. I hate it. I'm such an elitist asshole. I'm better than everybody. So now that you guys all know that, we can talk about how Mizzou is better than nobody.
Thank you. Good transition.
Well, We try to be best here, better than Dennis Gates.
Not hard to do.
Not hard to do. Xavi's big off the Dennis Gates bandwagon. I think I give him one more season, personally.
I operated a motor vehicle today and got it from point A to point B, and that is more than I could think that Dennis Gates could do after watching the coaching performance versus Drake.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That's a really, really, really tough one. What does it make you? What do you feel for Mizzou's season as a whole?
Failure.
That? Just overall, just failure. You just get graded an F altogether.
F minus.
Really? Just because they lost in the first round of the tournament? They still made it to the tournament.
Well, I mean, if you make it to your wedding day and then cheat that night, would you say, how would you grade this relationship? F.
I guess, but it's not exactly the same.
I didn't cheat before the wedding.
Those aren't directly correlated in how the grading scales. Like, you can grade a whole season based on the whole season, not just the end of the season. You're not gonna grade an entire marriage, outside of the one thing that you did that was the worst of all things.
There's winners and there's losers.
Yes, everybody loses except for the champion.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, you can also take the history of it and you say, okay, how can you deem a failure a success if you learn from it?
We learned from last year's failures.
We did not.
Winless in the SEC?
I think that we had better players this year because Dennis Gates he's good at talking. He's good at recruiting. But, I mean, I think you could give this guy LeBron James and Steph Curry and we'd get a second round exit. Maybe.
Damn.
Maybe if we made it there.
I think you got to give one more year. Sorry.
And I'll be on here eating crow, humble pie, foot in mouth, all that if I'm wrong. But I was watching the game and I said Drake sucks. They suck. Nothing in that game made me say this Drake team's pretty good. I was like, they will get demolished by Texas Tech.
And we caused a ton of turnovers that we couldn't even then grab onto the ball once turning them over. It was
ass.
bad.
It falls on the players too. You guys all
cheeks, ass.
I mean, the players on the team. I hope you're calling State Farm, Progressive, Banger's Life.
Get a hold of them.
And,
see if they got job openings because you guys are going to need to find work.
There's nothing wrong. You can make good money in insurance. But basketball ain't your forte, brother. And I'm talking to all 12 of them motherfuckers.
If you're going to sell insurance, you're selling your soul. That's you, John.
Jesus.
Hey, I sold insurance for a period of time. I know what it's like, brother. I know exactly what it's like. You got to convince people that something's going to go wrong and that they need to buy something that's not even real to protect themselves from all these things that could go wrong.
But why is it an F? How is it not? Give me the argument for not being an F.
Once again, it's because they made it into the tournament. That means you were at least in the top 64 teams in the country. So that's an improvement from last year. Big wins this year. It garnered a lot of interest in the program. Obviously, there was a major fail, a major F at the end of this. It's like, if you do a whole class and you take your final is not your overall grade, but it accounts for a lot of the grade. So, yeah, they get an F minus for their final of the year. But for the whole class, they did good throughout the whole, or for their classwork almost, if you will. So I'd say I'd give them like a C or a C minus for the season, personally. I'm
just not in the participation
I'm not
trophy.
ready for that yet.
No, ever will I be.
It's not a participation trophy. What are you talking about? This isn't saying that they had a fine season, an encouraging season. Is good. You're saying it's all or nothing. I think a grading scale is a grading scale. You're an A or an F, I guess, kind of guy.
No. If they make it to the Sweet 16, I'd probably give the season a B. You lose to Drake after you fucked your way into the tournament, after you cock teased everybody the whole year with some big wins sprinkled in there, but then that mask was pulled off, and it was pulled off in a huge way. It's not like
this team also scored 100-something points
we were
against
army
Alabama.
crawling after both of our legs were blown off. We were army crawling into the tournament. Couldn't even believe
Lieutenant Dan.
we looked surprised to be there.
Yeah.
And nonetheless, did we look like a team that expected to be there, and like we acted like we were the 11 seed in that. It's an F- for the season. Yeah, I guess we will see how they bounce back, but
I give them a C minus for the season. That's what I say.
So overall,
Because I enjoyed the season up until the last 4 weeks, right? I mean, can't say it wasn't enjoyable and that they weren't playing good basketball. So if we're just going to ignore that and say the whole season was a failure,
yes,
then I guess that's what you're going to do.
If you watch anything in life, like a Game of Thrones, spoiler alert coming, that franchise was ruined by the abomination of the final season, and yeah, so.
But you wouldn't say the whole show is an F.
No, you're probably right about that, but they gave me a lot more ups, and like I didn't a part of it is because I didn't expect the season to go the way it did, and it still had some better moments in that last season. I kind of went into that game almost just knowing that these pathetic losers were going to play the way they did.
Pathetic
All
losers.
Every single one of them.
Well,
Don't tell they're just college kids.
There goes our Mizzou sponsorship.
Well, what do we want? Patting on the back. You get better. Pull yourself up by the boot. If I'm down in the dumps or if I'm fucking up in life, I don't want anybody to say, well, hey,
You had him in the first half.
Xavi, you're doing pretty good, bud.
The whole Bud situation. I told you earlier. And I don't know what it is. People, I guess they look at me and they say, this guy looks like a Bud. They call me Bud or Buddy a lot. Don't like it. I don't know what that's about. I guess I give off big time Buddy energy. Fuck if I know. Not a fan. Don't go around calling people Buddy. That's what I say. What do you say? Thanks, buddy.
It depends on the circumstance. I would not be in the mood for any buds or buddies
I just feel like it's always condescending sounding for some reason.
after that Mizzou game.
Thanks, buddy. All right, buddy. How you doing?
Like some guys are buddy guys.
What?
What's up? Like some guys, like older guys, like you could just tell, like they're trying to mean the best. But I wouldn't be.
I guess, but I just, like I said, anytime I hear buddy, I just instantly get a little bit annoyed. Like, what the fuck, fucker? You got a problem? Thanks, buddy. Because I guess if I was calling somebody buddy, I'd be doing it in a condescending way. Like, oh, thanks, buddy.
No, but yeah. But a lot of times I can be hyperbolic in my takes.
Or Brady's fucking tattoo. Thanks, bud. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Is that how it reads?
That's how it says it on his foot. Thanks, bud. I'm pretty sure it's
thanks, bud.
A little sarcastic joke.
Well, it's thanks, bud.
I don't think it's real. I think it's, thanks, bud. We know.
If you brought me a beer and I said, thanks, bud.
I'd be like, oh, yeah? No, I don't know. Yeah, it's tone dependent.
But I will agree with you. After that game,
in general,
do not call me buddy.
Yeah. So for me, recently, I was watching the Mizzou game at an establishment. We were out of town, out in the country or whatever, Jay and I. So we went to a little restaurant in DeSoto, Missouri, watching the game, and the server's probably in his mid-50s or so. He's like, oh, sorry about your Tigers, buddy. It looks like they're not going to do too well today. I said, yeah, looks like it.
You're like, it wasn't even SLU that beat him.
No. But then, and also it was like, yeah, they've had a real roller coaster of a season. Like, this guy is going on trying to tell me like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. Like, just stop talking, dude. Like, I'm going to give you a good tip. Don't worry about it. You don't need to try to connect with me about me wearing a Mizzou basketball hoodie. So, fuck off. Don't call me buddy.
Yeah, a lot of positive vibes today.
Loaded for bear on a Monday morning.
Yeah. Well, people need to hear it. And
why must I be such an angry young man?
I'm not an A or F guy, but just call it what it is. It was an F. Like the Blues, if we get into the playoffs and lose first round, it's not an F season. Like that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it's
not
different
an F.
for you.
Yeah. Because
but
the
Mizzou,
expectations,
changing it from the season they had previously to then the season we
that
had,
was the expectations.
and
and doing as well as we did in conference with the amount of tough teams that are in conference. You're going to say this whole season was an F? Really?
Yeah, F- actually is what I said.
Jesus. I
Because it's all for naught.
I can't get. It wasn't all for naught. The team was still in the tournament. That still gets eyeballs
Because
saying
here's
like,
what
"Oh,
it is.
Mizzou is here."
There's
They're in
such
the
a high
tournament.
turnover in college sports now that you can't just be like, "Oh, this is building blocks. This team will overcome this." So
Sure.
a lot of these guys will be off the team. There's no learning
I
curve.
get it.
The Blues are a young team right now. We're ahead of schedule. I think a lot of people would say we weren't expecting playoffs this year.
But back to Mizzou. But not comparing it to the Blues. I understand that each year is a new team. But by them being in the tournament, that makes their name still on the national stage for transfers and for young players to be like, oh, Mizzou was relevant. They were in the tournament that year.
These young kids are going to be like, "Oh, I know Mizzou. They lose the first round of every tournament they get in." That's what I
maybe,
think.
but that's still, you got a better chance of getting a talented player to come to your school if your team was in a tournament. If we weren't in the tournament for multiple years in a row, they say, oh, Missouri's never been in the tournament the last bunch of years. Why would I want to ever even think about going there?
I texted you like a month ago and said I love this team. I hate this team.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, that
A
sucks.
pathetic product, and I won't stand for anything less than that. If I
Hey,
go,
look,
and I hold myself to that standard too, and you know, there's a lot of times where I could be doing a lot better than I should be, and the last thing I hate is when I fuck up, or if I know that I fucked up, is for somebody to tell me that it's okay, that I did okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But see, that's the thing. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say at all that what they did at the end was acceptable. It's not. I just saying that I don't think that it's fair or right to give the whole season an F just because they failed at the end so miserably.
Okay, so when we're the 2 seed and we lose to Norfolk State, do you remember that regular season at all?
This is a great regular season.
I
Good
don't.
team. Oh,
I remember losing to Norfolk State. Everything before that erased.
yeah.
I don't.
But you wouldn't give that season an F. You would. You
I
would
would.
because
F-.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Again, you had to be great. You had to have a great season to be a 2 seed. And then we fucked around and fumbled the bag hard, and we failed miserably at the end. I agree. But it still doesn't mean the whole season was a failure, in my opinion.
Okay, so if you were in car sales,
Yes.
say this. You have a cold call, and somehow that cold call, you spark interest. And this person comes in, and they're fucking loving it. They're like, I want this car. You're like, gosh, I'm going to make some good money, good commission off this car. The bank's going, and they're like, yeah, we're going to approve this loan and all this stuff. And then the last day when they come to finalize, they say, we're not doing it. You wouldn't be like, hey, I'll give that sale a B-.
No.
It's an
See,
F.
you're comparing things that aren't really comparable.
Because it's the same thing.
It's not.
That's the regular season for you. If you're in car sales, you're getting them through. You're feeling really good. You've made a good relationship.
You'd say that the sale was a failure, but any manager that was worth a damn would say, wow, I saw a ton of improvement in there. You brought somebody in off a cold call, and you nearly sold him that vehicle, as opposed to like, you didn't do shit. You didn't even have a chance of selling anybody anything. That would be a total failure. So it's like it's not comparable, I don't think.
You play the regular season to
get to the tournament.
Yes.
And we got to the tournament.
And lost.
Correct.
Easily. I don't think we were winning the whole game.
Okay, I agree there too. But that doesn't mean the whole season was a failure.
I want people to chime in and
give us your letter grade on Mizzou's season. Yeah, just give us. That's it. That's all we need.
Because you're going to say as a whole, but that is as a whole.
Yeah, whatever your letter grade is for Mizzou's basketball season this year, let us know.
I know my mom watched every game, and I want to know what she thinks.
She'll say, failures.
Maybe she won't. Maybe she'll pat him on the back, but not in my house.
Not up in here. Well, sorry, Mizzou. It's not really. Sorry that we had to watch your shit-ass team fail in a tournament again.
I am too.
But you know what? I'll be there for football season, so MIZ.
And we're going to...
He's going to let the ZOU just not happen.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. So I guess, we're talking college basketball. We might as well do this week's Mount Rushmore. So we're still working through our Mount Rushmores of sports rivalries, and we are down to college basketball now. It is that time of year. March Madness kicked off last week. What was your favorite game, though, that you've watched so far this March Madness? You got one?
Florida, UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Did
you see the UConn women's team beat the dog shit out of their first round opponent?
No, but I believe it. UConn.
I think it was 106 to 30 something.
Gino Auriemma has usually got a pretty good squad. I think they're a 2 seed this year. They didn't get a 1 seed, but yeah, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, just rolled them. So,
but that Florida UConn game was a really fun watch. Some really clutch shots being made on both sides, and Florida ended up coming out on top. That is who I have winning my bracket, but who cares?
Who the fuck cares? Everybody's got brackets.
Yeah.
When we get to the Final Four, we'll see how you did. We'll review
all Final Four teams are still in it.
Okay, look at you, little Xavi bracket boy.
I did at Mizzou in the Sweet 16.
Well, they should,
Moving on.
Letdowns. So our Mount Rushmore of NCAA basketball rivals. Don't have the music for this segment yet, but someday maybe.
Well, you want to lead it off with Indiana, Purdue?
Yeah. IU and Purdue. Indiana rivals. These two teams are pretty heated, I'd say, when they meet. Much more in the basketball world than in the football world. Yeah, would you agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Indiana is a basketball town. The whole state.
Yeah. Do you think... I don't know my history of Indiana and basketball. Do you think, obviously Indiana was big in a basketball way before the movie Hoosiers, but do you think the movie Hoosiers had any implications on basketball as a sport in the state of Indiana?
No, because that movie came out
early 90s?
I don't know, because maybe I'd have to look to see when Hoosiers came out, because they've always kind of been a basketball state, and
right? That's probably that's why the movie was made, right? Because they knew that there was a basketball state.
But I think Bob Knight coming to Indiana certainly reignited whatever. I don't know. I don't know the history of it. I just know that it's as synonymous as baseball is in St. Louis.
Oh, the basketball?
Yeah, would that be a fair statement?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think basketball is the most popular sport in Indiana?
Yes. By far.
NFL is really taking that full hold, though. But you're probably
college
right.
basketball is definitely
that was
everything there.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, Purdue, Indiana, pretty heated. Both
1986 is the film Hoosiers.
Both teams are usually pretty relevant teams, which is added to the rivalry. I think in any case, you kind of need both teams to be.
Does Purdue still got that tall freak?
No, he's a Memphis Grizzly. Zach Edey is the tall freak in question.
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, but they're 4 seed this year, I want to say.
Purdue?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They're still in it.
Didn't IU miss the tourney this year?
They did. They kind of got fucked.
Oh, so they had an F of a season.
No.
Oh, they didn't have an F. They didn't even make the tournament?
They got fucked. North Carolina got in over them in West Virginia. It was a big controversy.
It's a whole what for?
Yeah, so it's a question mark.
What do you mean it's a question mark?
I give the season a C for Indiana.
Okay, so if Mizzou didn't make the tournament, but we had the season we had?
But all things are relevant.
He didn't coordinate, he says.
All things are relevant.
Alrighty. Well, let's see how it is.
Yeah.
Nick's an IU fan more than a Mizzou fan.
No.
That's how it sounds here.
Just realistic.
Got
to be unbiased.
And then so that's one of our we haven't ordered I guess we know what our Thomas Jefferson is of the Mount Rushmore for these college rivalries, but outside of that,
our Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, George Washington maybe too.
Oh, were you trying to go like the first president?
No, just the best president.
The best president?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know. All right, moving on.
So
we got a little
IU and Purdue we talked about, but IU's other big-time rivalry is Kentucky, but Kentucky's big rival is Louisville. So we're talking Kentucky and we're talking Louisville. You say Louisville or Louisville? How do you say it? Louisville. It's like mouthful of rocks.
Louisville.
Louisville.
That's how the locals say it.
Yeah, one syllable.
The inbreds there.
Yeah. Woo! They're breeding horses and breeding people.
Bob's like, finally, me and Nick could be on the same page. He goes,
I'm not the only asshole today.
no, but that kind of interesting there.
Yeah.
Rick Pitino, John Calipari, obviously.
We're talking Rick Pitino. We're talking John Calipari. We're talking rigatoni, marinara.
Both those coaches are probably the most prominent in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But I'm wearing a UK hoodie.
Deb's hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb's hoodie, UK hoodie. They beat Illinois last night. Shout out to UK.
Yep.
Bow. Sorry, Brady.
He's rocking the Wildcat sweater today. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any. Me and my historical knowledge of college basketball isn't super deep, so I can't think of any particular matchups between these two teams that stand out to me. But I think Louisville. I think of the Kevin Ware incident almost always.
Dude, I remember where I was when that happened.
That's what I'm saying. It's so memorable.
I was at Chloe's mom's.
Jeez, poor guy.
Jesus.
Talk about we're gonna get a
Go
where.
ahead and Google that right
we're
now.
gonna
Go and YouTube it if you have.
Where are they now segment on Kevin
if you
Ware.
were only known because of that, I mean, we would not know Kevin Ware is, right, if that didn't happen.
No way. Yeah, 100%.
Go ahead and YouTube it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen
Viewer discretion advised.
it's not great.
Are you looking it up?
I just he's got a Wicca page.
Does he?
Yeah.
How far into it before it's mentioned about his injury?
2 sentences. It says Kevin Ware Jr., American professional basketball player. He was former player for the University of Louisville, where received widespread media attention when he suffered an open fracture of his tibia during his Elite Eight game.
Compound.
And do you know who they were playing on that game? Duke Blue Devils. Ooh. And the Duke Blue Devils are involved in probably the biggest college rivalry.
We're not there yet.
We are not there yet because we're still talking Kevin Ware.
No, because that's last.
Yeah, okay, sure.
The third rivalry.
So in 2016, Ware played for a Czech team and then a Finnish team.
Yeah,
2020, he signed with the London Lions. 2022, Ware signed an AI Naft Baghdad, an Iraqi basketball league. So he's playing in Iraq. Shouts out to Kevin Ware.
Yeah.
Making a career for it.
I racked the basketballs for the rest of the team is what he was saying after he snapped his fucking leg in half.
Oh, shit. You're going to do the man like that. Damn.
Oh, shit.
But hey, you know what? If you got to be remembered for something, I guess a catastrophic injury could be.
I don't know.
It's not the worst thing. I mean, people are going to remember
Him and JFK.
and DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Like,
you think people only remember JFK because of how he went out? Jesus.
off the top of the head, that's what. Yeah.
What do you know about JFK off the top of the head?
Bullets.
Bullets.
Dallas.
Dallas. Yeah, not great, dude. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. So
JFK files were released.
yeah, heavily redacted JFK files were released.
Well, yeah, we'll get in. That's not for now.
Not a political podcast.
Well, I do want to kind of venture into the conspiracy world eventually on this podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Not now. This is not the time or place. Well, it's probably the place.
It's the place. I was still, there's nothing else notable about Kevin Ware, but he's what I think of when I think of Louisville basketball. So, shouts out to Kentucky and Louisville. Anything else you got to mention on that rivalry?
No, just good basketball played by both teams and been pretty good for a while.
Yep. And a lot of these rivalries you'll see are in state, and that's why.
Well, neither one of these, both coaches tied in with those schools, but now neither coach coaches for either. And that's John Calipari for Arkansas. Just beat Rick Pitino's St. John's in this most recent tournament. So that's the last little.
It's kind of becoming like more of a rivalry between those two coaches than it is, the teams that they're coaching. Right, like when they meet up, it's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
So third, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna say it. A little MU, Mizzou, and Kansas rivalry. Boom. I think a lot of lists this showed up in people's top 5 lists for best rivalries in college basketball. It's obviously kind of cooled off since Mizzou made the move to the SEC over the years, but you're seeing that when we do match up and play KU, that the intensity is still there. The fans really like the game and are always 100% bought into it. So I think that even though we don't play them or hadn't played them as much as we were before moving conferences, that it's still a heated rivalry.
I think one of my first tastes for how savage college fans can be, college kids in particular.
Yes.
Or when Thomas Robinson for Kansas,
Yes.
his mom had passed away, and every time he got the ball, the Mizzou fans would cheer "No Mom, Tom."
Yep. How could you be so heartless?
I mean, that is Jesus.
Yeah, ruthless.
About
Trust
as
me.
savage as it gets.
Basically, it's we touched on this rivalry a bit before. I feel like the MU-KU rivalry.
Probably
It's
when they beat
steeped in-
KU. But I think when they beat KU earlier this year,
Yeah.
both seasons. Bob probably give KU season a C. They also got a first round exit. I would think that their fan base feels differently, but
I'm be curious what they think their season overall was compared to what they thought it was going to be, and compared to what it was last year. They, and those kind of things. Sure, yeah, I'd be curious. What's a Kansas fan give their team?
I'd have a lot more to say on this rivalry. I'm just not in the mood. Yeah, I hate
Nick's
Kansas.
a little turned off on the old Mizzou.
I hate Kansas. I was happy we beat him this year. That was fun. Probably the peak of the season.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a historic rivalry, based in literal Civil War differences. So,
yeah. Moving on.
Before we give you the obvious top rivalry in college basketball, we'll honorably mention Xavier and Cincinnati, another kind of in-state rivals. Ohio being another pretty big basketball state.
In city, I think Cincinnati.
Xavier is in Cincinnati. Yeah, kind of like SLU being in St. Louis, even though University of Missouri is not in St. Louis. There is a
It's
school.
not at all like that.
Well, I'm saying it's like that in the sense of a private Catholic school versus state school. Okay. Cincinnati being a state school,
Sorry.
Xavier being a small. Yeah, you gotta let me get there. I'm trying to walk down this rabbit hole.
That's on me.
In that rivalry is, I guess, literally led to some blows. Some little brawl action.
Yeah, I wish
I
I was trying to find more of a YouTube deep dive on there. It's just more like there's just a lot of clips of fighting and stuff. I kind of wanted a breakdown of it, but I was like, that was just enough to let me know it's pretty heated and makes sense. I probably would have included it on here if I knew more about it.
Right.
I don't really know too much about any of these rivalries, to be honest with you, but
we know that they're the best ones. Don't ask us why.
yeah.
So after we got that one, and so for the one that everybody's waiting for, Duke Blue Devils,
Florida
North
State.
Carolina Tar Heels, Florida State.
UNC Duke. I feel like that's one of those where even your dad probably would know that UNC and Duke are college basketball rivals, right?
100%. It's absolutely one of the most iconic rivalries, maybe in all of sports, like you said.
I'd have to say.
People that don't even know anything about college basketball know when they hear those two schools, they're mentioned in the same sentence typically because of the fact that there's, bad blood between the two of them. They're close geographically to each other, again, which precipitates, the rivalry, perpetuates the rivalry is what I was looking for.
Yeah, and clearly these are two of the biggest blue bloods in college sports, right?
Specifically basketball. It wasn't. They try to act like they're relevant in football and stuff, but they're not really as relevant in football. But
they're
when
10 miles apart.
That's what I'd say. Yeah, pretty geographically close.
Yeah, I just was curious my own self.
And I guess it's the same deal. Duke being a private university and UNC being a public school, like, a state school or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, this is, again, it's hard to recall because there is so many moments throughout this rivalry. But, a big one that comes to mind is, like, Tyler Hansborough, bloody nose.
Yes.
Remember that game?
Yes.
Duke, UNC, and Tyler's just down there, and he always was such a whiny bitch. And
He's from Missouri.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like every 4 years one of these teams is winning the national title.
Yeah, or at least in the major conversation of should be best team.
And I think the only thing that separates this from, because I was going to say like college football rivalries might have been my favorite one to cover and do and learn about. I think say this one kind of would fall in that college football category. The only thing is like they play each other multiple times every year, which kind of takes away from some of the allure that college football rivalries do.
Right, just having the one meetups.
Yes, but
it's steeped in history just as much as a lot of those old time college football rivalries. Like, as far as college basketball rivalries go, it's got to be one of the oldest. I'm sure there's some stupid Ivy League rivalry that people hold up. Oh, Stanford and Harvard have played each other since the 1870s. They hate each other's guts.
Stanford and Harvard, that'd be crazy.
Well, they're Ivy League schools.
Stanford's in California.
Yeah, still Ivy League schools. No, you're probably right. They wouldn't be rivals, but Stanford is an Ivy League school.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Let's get producer Tony in here.
Well, and while you're doing that,
read about Kevin Ware.
I was kind of thinking because we will. I'm going to talk to Brennan about the logistics of being the guest on the next podcast, so we can round this whole thing up with the soccer rivalries. But in the meantime, because I don't think I'm going to include any of these, as we've covered all these bases now.
Yeah, we're going to get Brendan in on this because he's going to
get Stanford's conference.
Stanford is not an Ivy League school. Fucking idiot.
It's
all East Coast schools. Sorry, guys. I let everybody down.
It's all right. We make mistakes when we overcome them. But I was kind of thinking how we've gone through all the rivalries. What would be your Mount Rushmore off the cuff now if we did best rivalries in sports?
All right. So if I'm going to go on mine off the top of my head, best rivalries in sports, I'm probably going to start with Alabama, Auburn. That was pretty excellent. Maybe it's recency bias, but I do think Duke UNC is seriously, a contender. You got to go Red Sox and Yankees. That's pretty much a standard classic. And then rounding out my Mount Rushmore of best overall sports rivals. Dang, it's tough because I'm like caught between choosing ones that are like historically.
Those were three of mine.
Best.
I have a fourth one in mind, but
and then like also the ones that have been the best here recently. I feel like probably Michigan, Ohio State is probably a lot of these college rivalries just get my juices going more than the pros ones. Probably because there's like. It's purely based on the school. It's not,
Hatred.
The professional ones. Some of these guys are on the same team for 10, 15 years,
and play for both.
Yeah, and could end up playing for both 100%. So it doesn't seem as deeply seated hatred of true rivals in like professional leagues like it does in college to me. So what about you? What's your topsy tops?
I think that's.
Don't say it was all mine.
I mean, the first three were.
I know I stole the good ones.
I was going to say probably those three, but I was going to go Lakers Celtics instead of Ohio State Michigan because I know the hatred that I have, and I think you did make a good point with the players, and
it is deeply seated teams, though. It's more true.
The fan bases absolutely hate each other, and it is also pretty historic as far as pro rivalries go. And now with Luka being on the Lakers, and the Celtics being as relevant as they are, I think that rivalry is going to come back. We might even get to see finals here between the two teams in the next couple of years. So, yeah, I think
those are good ones.
The first three I'd have to agree with, like Auburn, Bama, as we covered. But yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun little exercise, the Mount Rushmore of the Mount Rushmores, you know?
Yeah. The Mount Rushmores of rivalries in sports.
Yeah. And we'll go North American sports, because obviously we're going to do the soccer one next week, and I doubt we'll have any North American.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
part of that.
The biggest rivalry would be American sports fans versus the game of soccer itself. That's the rivalry.
Yeah. So, well, that rounds up the rivalries that matter.
Yep. Turn off the music for the segment.
We need to start getting music for segments.
Do we? Is that what people want? Do they want us to become a little sketch show where we're doing all the things?
I think it's fun to get music for the individual segments that we do.
A little bed music.
Yeah.
And then we got to get all the promos where we're yelling at things. Wow, best sports show in the world. Yeah.
No, just a little music to let you know, like, we're in this segment.
Little sound effects.
I feel like that's pretty common in any kind of radio show.
Getting the little fart noises. Whatever.
No.
Oh, that's where we draw the line.
No, I was just saying, like, music for individual segments. I enjoy.
All right. Well, you heard it here first.
I'm not saying, like,
Xavi
cookie cutter taste.
likes segments with music.
But anything you wanted to add before we wrap this episode 34 up?
We just passed St. Patty's Day. Did you do anything for St. Patty's Day?
I was at your wedding.
That was on the 15th. St. Patty's Day is on the 17th.
The weekend is when everybody celebrates.
Tell that to the people that are in Dogtown on the 17th.
Yeah, I worked on Monday.
So there you go. So you did not.
No.
Do you give a shit about St. Patty's Day?
No.
Me either. I don't think... I'll eat some corned beef sometimes, but leave the cabbage at home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's fun, and...
Do you like corned beef and cabbage?
I do.
Did you have any?
No.
Jesus.
I don't look upon... where we differ, I do not look down upon the people who find joy in holidays.
Whoa! It's putting words in my mouth. I don't look down upon people that celebrate things. I just look down upon everybody else.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
I don't look down on anybody. That was a joke.
Get up and get out and look forward to these days. It's just not really my thing. I'm not much of a holiday guy. I participate in the big two.
You don't want to
three.
be merry? You don't want to find reasons to be merry?
I can. I guess I don't need an arbitrary day to. But again,
arbitrage.
I get it. Like, and I get people want to celebrate their heritage or, go out and look
me,
forward.
I'm Irish.
Good, look, go downtown or go to Dogtown for this manner. And I don't know. I'm not one for going in big crowds and getting drunk. I kind of have a disdain for it.
When did that change in life?
It's always been the case. I've never liked going in big crowds and getting drunk.
You didn't like Mardi Gras?
No.
You didn't like. You don't like going.
Nope.
Tailgating for a football game and then going to it.
No.
These things are. These are some of the
Tailgating.
things. You don't like going to a concert where you get a few drinks in you beforehand. There's all the people at the concert.
No. Again, these are all things that I've done. Do not enjoy it. Again, I think too, like with tailgating, a lot of times I feel like it's kind of I can see the appeal in that, and a lot of times you're not in a big crowd. It is a big crowd, but they're kind of in individual little things with your clan. But a lot of times, what I find is you're getting so fucked up, like to get amped up for this game that you're tailgating for, that you don't even enjoy the game, because if you're getting fucked up at 9:30, 10, by the time kickoff's at noon or 1, like
you're backsliding or blacking out.
So I've just always kind of like, that's just not. I want to be in, like, I want to peak. My tailgating, I want to be shotgunning Celsiuses and getting amped up for this game that I'm about to come into. Yeah. Like, I never really
just
understood.
Have a few of them, some mushroom chocolates, you'll be good.
But do you agree though? Like, people get so fucked up that they don't even enjoy the game that they're getting fucked up for.
Yes, we kind of touched on on people getting fucked up beyond belief a couple episodes ago or whatever. It's like, that's just as
But that's what tailgating is.
generally, yeah.
And that's what St. Patrick's Day is, and that's what Mardi
Well,
Gras is.
Yeah,
and-
all of them are, and all of them are big crowds. But it's also kind of similar with tailgating because it is like you go with your little group of people and you kind of hang out in your little group and you move around with your group within the larger group of everybody.
Now, the Mardi Gras and St. Patrick's Day I can understand a little more because it's more of a celebration. So it's not like it's not like you're getting fucked up and then, oh, now I have to go do something.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, you got Thanksgiving. The night before Thanksgiving is basically a holiday. Everybody goes out and gets fucked up to be hungover for Thanksgiving the next day.
And I can get that. I kind of do like that vibe a little
Okay.
more. But that's, again, I like Nick's Pub, which is... It
I
can,
used to like Nick's Pub.
Oh, yeah, no longer Nick's Pub, but I'm just talking about when I've gone and done it.
Yeah. No, I also agree with that aspect. Like when we were, 21, 22, we'd go to these slammed bars and that was the move, right? Oh, go to the busy places. I didn't really, I'm sure you didn't either. It wasn't our most enjoyed thing at the time, but that's just what we did. It's like what you did. But now when I find myself in a bar like that, like if I go to the Midwestern downtown where I play some of these gigs and it's all 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds packed in there, like all just kind of fucking pushing each other around because there's nowhere to go, trying to get to the bar to order a drink, and there's just everybody spilled drinks on the ground and it smells like barf. Not enjoyable. I guess, was it enjoyable before? I don't know.
No, I remember I almost got in a fight with somebody for just fucking
True.
drinking my Baltimore Zoo
True.
at KOK.
He said, I thought we were sharing a drink.
Brand sent me a text that somebody was at KOK, Kilroy's, partying it up.
Probably Mark Cuban, dude.
I don't think it was Mark Cuban.
He does that from time to time.
Yeah, but it was, I can't remember off the cuff now. But
What, did he see it on the social meds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're at KOK. It was like for an Indiana game. So.
Former player, former coach, any of those kind of things?
Remember. I'll
That's
try
all
to pull it up.
Well, it's all right. It's all right.
But KOK, like.
Shouts out to Bloomington.
I did have a lot of fun times at KOK.
Yes. So I said earlier that we had went to Zia's on the hill for dinner Saturday night. They have like a mozzarella dish. It's like an appetizer. Mozzarella ferrata or something like that. It's basically like a mozzarella stick, but instead of like a stick, it's like you could tell they took fresh mozzarella, sliced off a slab of that shit, and breaded it and fried it. Ooh, buddy. That
Good?
shit was fire. So good.
Did you get here because you were thinking of Obie Taylor's?
Yes. 100%.
Elite mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it because
No longer
Opie
open.
Taylor's from Bloomington had some homemade in-house cheese sticks that were outstanding. I think that these mozzarella ones though from Zia's were better, but it could be
Whoa.
recency biased. Could be recency biased.
I mean, yeah, I'd like to try them.
You should try 'em. You gotta
Mozzarella
try
sticks
'em,
have
dude.
such a wide range of being acceptable or like trash.
Yeah.
Like you can either have like a 10 out of 10, well 9.9 out of 10 mozzarella stick, or you
Yeah.
can have just like a 2.3.
Big time. Big
Right?
time.
Do you like the cheese pool? Do you like to be able to see that cheese?
It's fine, but I'd rather have a nice bite to it, like fresh mozzarella does. You know, when you bite fresh mozzarella, it's snap. It's got a little snappiness to it almost.
Moots.
Like if it's really pulley and stringy, that probably means that it's been frozen and thawed and frozen and thawed, and it's, it's not as fresh. That mozzarella is not as fresh when it's really stringy.
Yeah. We're a cheese
So
podcast.
shouts out to Zia's. Go get those mozzarella. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, and it's like frittata.
Speaking of cheese,
Ooh, I like cheese.
Well-
Oh, God. There was a cheese fiasco at the wedding. Is that what we're leading into? Jesus.
We're not going to get too much into the wedding details and all that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, yeah, they're married. Bob's a married man. But prior to it,
Yeah. Day of.
you're a little Bobzilla that day.
Yeah, I guess. I was trying to keep things on. So I had, the order of operations, things that needed to be done that day.
But I'd say
Jay
that-
took off so she left at, 9 in the morning to go with her girls. They were doing the hair, the makeup, and the whole thing. And so that left me and two of my best men groomsmen to organize and get everything from the house to the venue.
Which
So we
did.
have all the wedding decorations, and then was one of the last steps was to put the nacho cheese in the little serving cups, and then bring the cheese to the venue because we had pretzels as a little snack.
And this was the, I think, most time-consuming thing that we did.
Yeah, it took about an hour.
Yeah, that's what I think the irony is behind all this.
Took about an hour to fill the cheese, and we got it done.
Bob cut himself in the process.
Cut myself on the stupid can of cheese.
And we
So
get
we
there.
filled them, and we filled it all up. We got it done, boxed up, set the box off to the side, and we get there. We set the wedding up. I was a little stressed because I was running behind schedule on getting things set up for the ceremony, because the way it was supposed to happen was the ceremony was going to be done outside, but there was chance for rain, so we audibled that, and we were going to then do the ceremony inside. Not really a big deal, but Jamie, since she was, already done hair and makeup, wanted to, we needed to be separate, so I couldn't go into the main room and do anything I needed to do for the ceremony until she was done with the decorations in there, right? Whereas if it was done outside, I could have been setting up outside for the ceremony. So mostly it was like I needed to get this whole guitar situation done because I did a little song for my vows, blah, blah, blah. So I needed to do that as, low key, as secretly as I possibly could. But since everything got pushed back, it ended up, and then my dad was still farting around getting the guitar going. There was people showing up as I'm sitting here trying to check this guitar
Matt
and get it
and I
going.
are outside in slippers, sweatpants, t-shirt, and people are
5
coming
minutes to
dressed to
5.
the nines.
Yeah.
And we're just,
what are you guys wearing sweats
we're
for?
sitting outside looking like fucking has-beens, like Mizzou's basketball team.
So, but regardless, we get that all set. We had to go pick up food for the thing. So we get back and we get dressed, 5 minutes before the ceremony about to happen. We do it. Ceremony goes off without a hitch. Everything's great. Everybody's having a good time. And then we get into the reception. Everybody's having a good time. We're dancing, first dance. The band's kicking off. The band sounds great. Next thing I know, I'm looking at the table where all the pretzels were. We had little pretzels as an appetizer from Gus's Pretzels. And there's no cheese. And I look at the table, and Brady notices. He says, "Where's the cheese?" I said, "My God, we forgot the cheese." So we spent that time getting the cheese cups ready, and it didn't make it into the van.
You couldn't even consume it here.
I couldn't because it had been sitting out for 24 hours. But there was like half of that can left after we went through 2 big cans. There was like half of that one can left and like some of the bottom of the other can. So once we got home, and that was in the refrigerator, I left that in the refrigerator. So I was able to get that out and put it in a saving container. So I've been eating tons of nacho cheese the last week.
Boy, let me tell you, I've eaten so much damn pizza. Like I'm sick of it, dude. I don't think I'll eat pizza.
No way. You can't be sick of pizza.
Well, it's just, dude, I was eating it like every night, because I was, I took like 3 large boxes for all of us, and then nobody ate any. So then I was just at the house with all this goddamn pizza.
Yep. Jay gave away all the leftover pizza. We didn't even bring any pizza home ourselves.
Oh, I could have brought 2 out.
That's all right. I had
It was
plenty of
good
pizza.
though.
Pizza Head, shout out on South Grand for anybody looking for a great New York style pizza. Go give Pizza Head a try. We had, but it was a good wedding. Everybody had a good time. Your grandpa's band did great. My dad got the singer all stoned on an edible.
So
so
there's
fun.
a little controversy there.
I guess. It's the slightest of controversies. I think it's like your grandpa is more annoyed about it than anybody else. But it was good. We had a good wedding. So now all of our listeners won't have to hear about that no more.
Yeah, probably ever again. Because I'm,
But shouts out to you guys for all the hard work you did making it come together.
I do want to point out this, though. Last thing. And you told multiple people different times. You said to me, because I called you, you're like, hey. And I was just like a little, I know you had a lot going on, so I'm not holding this against you, but I just wanted to point this out. Because I was like, hey, I'm getting my haircut tomorrow. I just didn't know what time I should tell her. I'm going to call her right after we get off the phone. You're like, yeah, I was thinking like you guys get out here at 12. We just got to get some things. Maybe we'll get a lunch. I don't know. You did say I don't know. You didn't say definitely lunch. So I called the lady right after and I said he said 12. And I get done with my haircut. And then Matt's texting me. He's like, Bob's like frantic right now. He said he told you 11.
I swear to God, I said 11 to everybody, but that's fine. It's
but
not
I
a
was
big
like,
deal.
well, I literally got off the phone with you and called her directly because I know I am one to forget and do stuff like that. But I was like, what the? I mean, it all worked out.
Yeah,
I just want that on the record.
I'm also on the record saying is I almost positive I said 11 for everybody. I said 11 or noon, and then maybe I said that. Maybe I said 11 or noon, and then you heard noon, and I was like, okay, 11. I told him 11. Let's do 11. So, that's all right.
We were ahead of schedule at one point. We had enough time. We were drinking some brews.
Yeah, we had the stuff done we needed to do. I just didn't want to have to be as close to the timing of it as we were. I wanted to know that we had plenty of time to sit around and drink brews and also get the cheese in the car because that didn't happen.
I do like that, though. I still think something exhilarating about shotgunning a beer, dude.
It's good. Yeah. It's like, we're all here. We're recognizing that we need to, let's get this time. Let's turn it up a little bit,
Oh, I just taken a shower and direct key shot. Beer right up in my grill.
That's all right. Nothing says party like smelling like a Bud Select.
Like a KOK's floor.
Ooh, no, that smells like barf and liquor, brother.
Well, everybody's kind of figuring out their tolerance at college, And you test the limits.
That's facts. They do test those limits. And I don't know what it is. You don't obviously have this experience, but me, playing in bands for a number of years now, it seems like people are much, much more confident with like just coming up and talking to you right in the middle of a song now more than ever. Like, oh, you see we're doing something here. What makes you feel like you're so special that we're going to stop what we're doing and oh, you have a song request? That's great. We don't know it. We're not a fucking jukebox. Like, I don't know. It just seems people have gotten way more emboldened with that the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, before I feel like it was just everybody demanding Freebird.
Yeah, and people still yell Freebird, but even they don't even yell it. Now you'll see they like put it on their phone and they'll hold their phone up in the air.
I like that.
And they just and it just says Freebird and it's like, yeah, okay, funny, haha.
I feel like every band should learn Freebird.
We know about 30 seconds of it just because it's for the joke.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. People say they want to hear Freebird. I'd guarantee 90% of these motherfuckers wouldn't even know if you started playing the song that's what it was.
Oh, come on. Let's get back to our podcast. Freebird it lives up to the hype.
It's a great song, but I'm just saying you could start it off the way that the song actually is, slow, because that's how the song is until it gets to the end part in the solo. That's all that everybody thinks about. But, they don't want to hear the, if I was leaving with you, girl.
Nobody wants to hear that part. That made me feel something warm in my tum-tum, dude. I just love that song.
Yeah.
And this bird you cannot change.
Yeah.
What'd you say? If I leave here tomorrow. Woo! Yeah, tell me that. Come on, man.
Would you still remember me? It's not that twangy, but I like it. But yeah, anyway, just if you go to a show and you get blackface drunk, just don't think that you're part of the band is all I guess I really need to say.
Blackface drunk. If you're drunk enough that you're wearing blackface. If you're drunk enough that you're wearing blackface, you've reached a point.
You're just testing your limits, they're college kids.
Oh gosh, that's funny, Flub.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about the same. If you're blacked out drunk, you might as well be blackface. You look just as dumb.
Yeah, it's like when when we all know those people too. When there are certain. Oh, I'm losing my mic, but there's a certain type of drunks too. Like people handle alcohol differently, and like the drunks that just start getting really loud and talking to you and having heart-to-hearts.
Or there's even like the drunks that love to act like they're more drunk than they even are. Like that's the ones that really get under my skin.
Or the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones that are hammered. I'm not, that's me. I'm usually the one that
I can drive home now.
I don't usually go that far, but I'm like, when people are like, dude, you're wasted. I'm like, I'm not fucked up. What are you talking about? That's usually me.
but I'm not ever like, I drive home right now. I don't get angry about it, but I'm always the one that's like, no, I'm not that fucked up.
How often do you wake up the next day and say, wow, I was a lot more fucked up than I thought? Like, that moment of clarity.
It's been a long time. It's been
3 weeks since you looked at me.
It's been, yeah, no. If I wake up and I just feel any type of hungover, I'm like, nope, too far. And I don't even have, and I could remember every single thing that happened the night before, but for whatever reason, either had too many different things, like switch between beer and liquor or whatever, backloaded it too much, too many beers right before bed.
I can't remember the last time I've drank so much that I had memory blanks.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I think I've blacked out at all. It's been a long time. I don't even know that I have since I've been in a relationship with Jay, and that's 5 years.
We should get blackout for a pod though, because Pardon My Take did that one time, and it's kind of funny, but
Sure.
It's nerve wracking to go back and then listen to.
Yeah, Lord knows. I don't.
You think
how
it'd be
would
fun,
we
though?
Maybe. How would we even know? All right, we're here. I know that we're here.
Well, we
Hit
don't have to
record.
say we're getting blacked out, but it's we drank 8 beers within an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and then record maybe a couple shots in there.
That'd be interesting.
But you don't want to get too you have to.
And I know. I mean, it's definitely possible because what was it? Tuesday night of our little honeymoon. We got back to our cabin after doing some hiking. We went to Tom Sauk Mountain State Park. It's the highest point in the state of Missouri. Great little it's a national park, but great little park. Waterfalls, the highest free-flowing waterfalls in the state also. So highly recommend that. So anyway, we went there, and when we got back to our cabin, we were just hanging out, and I'm like, oh, I got, about a third of this bottle of rum left that's just chilling here. And so I made 3 rum drinks and had, that 1/3 or so of a bottle of rum in those 3 drinks. And after those 3 drinks, I was feeling pretty good. But I was drunker than I thought I was. But I didn't feel like shit or nothing the next day.
So the next day you're like, whoa.
Yeah, because the next day, yeah, I was like, dang, I was more drunk than I was expecting to be last night, but I wasn't
But in the moment you don't feel like that.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I was really trying to convey. Because Jamie and I we have our side by side out there, so we're taking a ride. We're just riding on the regular roads or whatever. And I'm like, let's go down to the river, and she's like, no, we're not gonna go down to the river. I'm like, why? It's fine. She's like, let's just wait until it's daylight.
Yeah, haven't you already flipped that thing?
Yeah, it was one of the first things I did. You got to know its limits.
Jesus.
It's an off-road vehicle. And it didn't damage it, really. It just put a little scuff on it. A little beauty mark. But I haven't done it since. And I wasn't drunk when that happened. I was stone cold sober, brother.
I doubt that.
No, 100% was. 100%
No
was.
weed in your system?
Well, that's just every day.
Well, that's
No, I don't even know. I think I probably smoked, sure, but if that's what we're saying.
well, that's
California
not stone cold
sober. It's
Yeah.
California sober.
But I think, we've touched all bases.
First, second, third, and home.
That would be all of them. And,
Inside the park home run. Anything coming up in the near future you're looking forward to? Any big matchups? Any the next round of wrestling? What's today? Is Monday. Any Monday Raw things happening?
Well, I am looking forward to tonight. I'm pretty excited for Blues hockey.
Blues hockey.
Like I said, right now, even if we don't make the playoffs, that we've breached above F status for me for the year.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we're playing the Montreal Canadiens.
You Canadians.
So yeah, I am pretty Blues hockey has me pretty locked in and excited. Yeah.
Yep. I'm in. I mean, I'm a hockey fan, so I've always been in. But yeah, I'm
baseball season starts Thursday. That's pretty fun, exciting. I am a baseball fan. I know you touched earlier. You're just a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
I will be excited for the baseball season.
You got fantasy baseball? You doing any fantasy baseball?
We're supposed to be doing a draft here this week, so
only time will tell.
Yeah, if not, there's always other ways to make the
Did you
games
do
fun.
any? Yeah, big time. FanDuel, DraftKings, get on with the sponsorships. Did you have any other fantasy going on outside of football? Did you do any NHL or NBA fantasy this year?
NBA, my team, they all got hurt. Zion's a fat ass who missed half the season. Really, it cost me playoffs. I made some dumb moves myself. I dropped players and was trying to be too cute in the beginning, trying to pick up too many players. Yeah, I was just trying to get matchups. Like, I'd be like, I want to drop this guy because this team plays 4 times this week and it'll give me an advantage. But then you end up dropping a guy that becomes a pretty superstar.
Right,
and,
big piece.
So I made some stupid moves and cost myself in fantasy basketball. I was pretty locked in, but,
Well, that's what daily fantasy is for. Forget this whole season fantasy action.
I do think daily fantasy is more fun, but it's more of a financial commitment to play daily fantasy every day.
Yeah, we had a system. We had the numbers all written out at some point.
We were cranking them.
Yep.
We were wham bam and thank you mamming them.
Yep. And we were on the leading edge, dude. Of we could have been a betting consultant.
Yes. Making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
For being a tout.
Yeah.
Damn. There's still a chance.
Yeah.
Anything else you're looking forward to this week?
Am I supposed to be?
No, I'm just asking. It's just an open-ended question.
I'm like, geez, man, what am I forgetting?
We're closing in rapidly at the end of the month. April Fool's Day coming around the corner.
I am starting to sand volleyball for the first time in 3 years, so
that's a tough one. That's a physically demanding.
We're gonna see. I really got to just get back into like a full swing. I've been thinking about just a routine to get into fully.
Thinking about you.
Which is why I've been trying to wake up a little earlier every day just to get myself, because I kind of fell back into that serving lifestyle. So I'm trying to time it to where if I get up at like 7:30, 8.
Yeah. If you're in bed by midnight and you're up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, you can get a lot of shit done.
Yeah. And even most times at work, like I can still make it home and be in bed by midnight, 12:30. So
yeah, exactly. Because that's pretty much the schedule that I'm on. Most times it's like I'm going to bed at 11:30 or midnight and I'm up by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, the problem is for me is when I get home and then I inevitably watch YouTube till like 1:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I've caught myself the most is like if I'm just sitting there not doing anything at the end of the night and it's like already 11:30 and I'm just really doing nothing useful. I'm like, all right, what am I doing? Just go to bed. There's nothing good is coming of this time, essentially. So yeah, I get that. I'm trying to think if I got some gigs this weekend playing in the Grove on Saturday with Paydays. Used to be the Ready Room, now called Hot Java. Cool little place. Should be a fun show.
Hot Java.
Hot Java, hot water, hot grease. I don't know.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm working all weekend. Everybody's working on the weekend.
I don't recommend Eddie Money.
But, yeah, I guess no tales from the service table this week. I do want to acknowledge that. Hopefully something happens. And
and I didn't do anything all week because we were honeymooning.
Yeah, I have no follow-up on I feel like last week's was enough for like a month.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions on that story, go ahead and ask us because now I can't even scroll through Facebook and feel the same.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, there's more bombshells to be dropped.
Here's another little question I'll ask the audience. I'll ask you, Xavi. If you know something is different than how somebody's portraying themselves online, how does that make you feel? Do you feel the need to want to out somebody, or do you just be like, shake your head and move on by it?
I don't know. I stay off social media because
Sure.
I've kind of figured out that facade a long time ago.
Trust me, brother. I get it. It's not like I'm living every moment on there, but sometimes that's my wasting of my time.
Yeah.
That's the rabbit holes I'll go down to. Mostly it's because I get entertainment from seeing how people like to try to present themselves online.
Sure.
So that's kind of entertaining. It's trash entertainment. I'm a trash person for it, and I'll accept that.
Do you think you could be watching Cody Rhodes and John Cena drop epic promos?
No, instead I got how it's made on while I'm who knows what's.
Yeah.
Cooking. I did a lot of cooking this week too. Made some bomb ass pulled pork. I made some pulled pork nachos yesterday that were fire, brother. So
That does sound good. I could go for a pulled pork nacho.
well, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I got anything else to add. We'll build this back up for next week's episode, and
Probably
Brendan,
next Monday. I like this time slot if it works for you.
I think generally it would. Yeah, generally it would. But Brendan, get yourself ready. We're gonna call you up.
Yeah, take off next Monday.
Yeah, you don't need work, right? You don't need to support your family. We need you on this podcast, dude.
Long-term goals, like long-term gains. We're playing a real long run here. I think we're up to like 28 weekly viewers.
We're pretty much killing it.
We'll be at 28,000 next year.
Yep. Once we get this video stuff going and we get our mugs on screen,
That's a 1,000 to 1.
Our female viewership will rise exponentially.
I do think we're about 50-50 there.
Yeah, we got a good demo. A little bit split skis.
Yeah. So maybe we'll lean into something. The Mount Rushmore maybe will be geared more towards the women next time.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore of
We'll talk on it.
Oprah Winfrey giveaways.
That's sexist. They don't care about Oprah Winfrey.
What?
Oprah sucks. No,
she
but
gave away stuff.
we'll figure it out. So
We'll figure it out.
yeah,
Until then,
Mount Rushmore of Sex in the City episodes.
yeah, see, you're getting it.
No, but I feel like that is a lot more Oprah Winfrey.
Oprah Winfrey giveaways specifically.
Bob's out of touch, but
Yeah, maybe. If I'm out of touch, we're all out of touch.
well, Jesus, but